Well, hello, dear friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, and others. Welcome to this week's Vegematic show. I've decided to go weekly rather than sporadically. So from here on until, I don't know, either I bite it or get bored with it, Friday nights at 7 o'clock I will upload, or at least as close to 7 as the Googleocracy will allow me to upload. People are always asking me, why are you doing longer videos suddenly? And I said, well, I haven't had a lot to do lately, so in between my basket weaving classes, then I have nothing to do. I come home and I sit around. So without the basket weaving classes, I would be just adrift. Without that, and of course the Vegematic channel. So back by popular demand, and I don't know. Don't you love that? Backed by popular demand? Well, who's demanding it? I'm demanding it. I'm saying it's backed by popular demand. I've decided in going through all these magnificent history of the Vegematic channel that I would actually, if you would indulge me and stick with me while I present the nearly almost spectacular, the nearly almost 10th anniversary, the 10th anniversary, nearly almost spectacular. Volume 3.
Hello there, it's Vegematic with the Vegematic Show. The bombastic, bloviating blowhard continues to dominate the news. In a massive display of death and narcissism, the largest crowd of complete idiots ever assembled in one place. Meanwhile, Daddy's little princess attempts diplomacy. Look at me, Daddy, I'm a world leader. I have the shoes to prove it to everybody.
Is anybody out there? Welcome, brothers and sisters, fellow human beings, traveling on this rapidly heating up speck of dirt floating in the cosmos. I'm generally a mix of optimism and pessimism, but I have to admit that lately the pessimism has been winning out. Well, we are all boomer-toomer consumers. It's just part of our nature. We were brought up that way. It's not our fault. We were raised in front of the television, which programmed us with gamma rays for many years. Nothing. I know nothing. And then we were forced to take psychedelics in the 60s and 70s. They forced it on us. We had no choice. It was a CIA experiment or something. I've never been the same, and millions of others have never been the same, so thank you. And Timothy Leary, a CIA agent all along, and I know, okay? So he's dead? Yeah, well, Timothy Leary's dead. And no, he's not sleeping. He's dust by now. Psychedelic dust. Particleizing in the air. Sparkling diamonds. Yeah, it's all bullshit, man. So here it is, December already, and once again we have to go through that nightmare that happens every December 25th and for a month beforehand and a couple of weeks afterwards, known as Christmas. The war on Christmas is real, and I'm a general in the war on Christmas. I say it's time to eliminate Christmas. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing fun. It's depressing for lonely people. It's depressing for homeless people. Who enjoys Christmas? And goes, you get together with your relatives and argue over the dinner table about something that's totally irrelevant, and then you forget about it, and you just get all angry all over again when you think about it a year later and you have to go through the same damn ritual again. No, screw Christmas. I hate Christmas with a passion. I go into the stores and there's nothing but garbage, landfill stuff in the bright, the bright colors, and they've got all these things, and they cut down trees, and people pay exorbitant amounts to bring a stupid tree home. That's what I think about Christmas. Christmas, I would never miss if they eliminated it, abolished it, destroyed it. It's time to get rid of Christmas. Join me on the war on Christmas. We do not need ships in the harbor loaded up with trinkets from China produced in a Uyghur slave factory so that we can hang them on a tree that we've cut down in the prime of its life, stuck on a spike, covered it in humiliating decorations, and wait and watch it slowly die.
You liberals out there, help you understand why you lose all the fucking time. You see, what we have here is like a range war, and it's survival of the fittest.
And I would like to bring up, if I might, Governor Sarah Palin. Special person. Thank you.
Holy rollers! All you with the hands that rock the cradle. You all make the world go round, and now our cause is one.
And I'd like to also really thank him for the Maples Inn, the a brief history of the Maples Inn in Point Claire, which brought back many, many memories, fuzzy though they are. I do remember, though, that I discovered that this was the big secret in the 70s. I didn't have a lot of money. I was just a kid, and I would hang out at the Mapes, and there was, various combustibles were available there. It was sort of a marketplace. And sometimes you would not have any, and you'd go there and think, well, and somebody would say, here, come on over here. We're doing something over here. And yeah, well, this one night I went down there and I was broke, and I couldn't believe it. I'd spent all my money on riotous living and was looking for something to breathe in, to ease the pain a little bit. And nobody I knew was around. It was dead. So I went down by the lakeshore to where everybody used to go. And being empty, I looked down, and there were roaches everywhere. Tons of roaches, just lying there. And I went, I think I'm onto something here. So I started picking them up and emptying them out, and picking them up and emptying them out. I'm going, holy shit, look at all this. Look at all this. It's a mixture. I'm not sure quite what it is you're smoking, but man, did it get us high. But it was ruined because I blabbed about how I had found this secret stash of, weed, and it was by the lake, and soon there were roach hunters crawling over the places, and the roach hunting was never the same again. Yeah, maybe that's why YouTube hates me. I mean, I get the odd subscriber floating in from friends. It's so hard to get like one subscriber these days. Maybe if I just, changed my name from Veg to something more hip and cool and sexy. And fucking too old for that. Oh well.
Well, suppose he did it this way. Ann, what you doing Saturday night?
Well, I guess I'm busy.
Oh, yeah? And they can't be giving him the push up for me?
Well, of all the nerve!
An iron curtain had descended across the continent.
Like a bad penny in a recurring nightmare, I'm back. Hi folks, welcome back to the Vegematic show. You have somehow found your way into the depths of the YouTube universe. Why they let you get here? I think it's all a psyop. Everything's a conspiracy, and the conspiracy this week is the wall. Build it, the wall, you fools. Build it, and meanwhile we'll send our drones flying across that wall. Yeah, really, seriously, what the hell, man? Craziness never stops, does it? Just so much craziness in the world. That's why I drink. At least that's the excuse I give my internet audience. Thank you, internet audience. You could probably all fit into this room, and wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, and some other things. Like, you think you're gonna win the fucking vote? You think you're gonna take Donald J. Trump out? Well, we got something for you. We can work around that. If it's just a matter of a few thousand votes in our state, old Johnny will take care of that. Not only that, we can make it very difficult for people to vote, if you know what I mean. Maybe just have one worker at the polling station and have a line about a mile long. 8 o'clock, it's over. Yeah. I do what I want. And you liberals are too weak to tell me what to do. I want to put a hole through a bucky there, I'll do it.
Whether at home or abroad, Ivanka Trump boldly advances President Trump's pro-woman platforms while acknowledging that every nation, including the United States, can and should do more. Oh, Ivanka, you make me so proud. Who says nepotism is bad? Perhaps she could go on a safari with her brothers. That is, when she's not buying patents for voting machines from the Chinese government. What a dutiful daughter. She fights tirelessly for women's rights and collects money from the Saudi government. $100 million, rumor has it. You just can't fight for women's rights without a big fat bank account, can you, Ivanka? Are you feeling depressed like there's no hope? Well, perhaps there isn't hope, but there is hope in finding other decent people to share your hopelessness with. And that's why I'm glad to welcome you to the Vegematic channel, because fake hope is what we're all about. Oh, sure, the ice is melting faster than anybody could believe before, and there's earthquakes and hurricanes and all those fun things, plus the threat of nuclear war, thanks to tactical battlefield mini-sized nukes that are under development. After all, Herr Trump says, why have nukes if you can't use them?
And have you noticed this thing? Everything's a smart car, smart phone, smart appliances. I don't want smart. I want my appliances to be stupid, dumb as a rock. Turn it on and it works. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I don't want all the bells and whistles, because what are the bells and whistles but something that makes the last bells and whistles completely obsolete? No more bells and whistles. How about something simple? A phone. I must be one of the last people on earth to not own a cellular phone. No, not even the simple old-fashioned flip phone thing. Nothing. Never had one. Don't want one. However, people look at you and you say, I don't have a cell phone. And they roll their eyes and go, oh God, another one of those old people. Yeah, well, I'm not head stuck in the damn thing when I'm driving along and being distracted or walking in front of traffic because you're reading this stupid. There's zombies everywhere, zombies. Why? Because of these electronic devices. They carry around with them everywhere. They can't bear to face the separation anxiety of being away from the interweb for even 30 seconds because they might miss that little dopamine hit. And what am I doing here? I'm searching for dopamine hits. When someone leaves a comment, I get a dopamine hit. So then, I'm looking for more dopamine hits. And it's because, as a kid, nobody paid any attention to me. So I need that attention from my dear friends at the Vegematic channel, and YouTube wants to take even the comments away. Take what little is left of my miserable existence and just crush it beneath your electronic, algorithmic... Ugh. understand it all. Nor do I want to understand anything. Because the smarter you get, the more you realize this.
We are so fun. 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 We are so fun.
So this is the third variant of the Vegematic, almost spectacular 10th anniversary thing. And I keep them interesting. I don't just string together a bunch of old shit. I carefully choose it from the vaults of Vegematic. And the vaults of Vegematic are growing full, and I'm going to have to delete this stuff pretty soon. Anyway, I want to keep this interesting for people, because let's face it, most of YouTube is getting pretty boring. It's the same thing over and over again, the same thing, the same boring people saying the same boring talking points, and it moves at a snail's pace. So I will not let my videos move at a snail's pace. I keep them moving. I keep them snappy. I keep them happy. All for you, the viewer. And what do I get from it? I get a kick in the ass from the algorithm.
I don't care about no goddamn rules for the hunting season. I'll go out at midnight and do it when everybody's sleeping. If it makes a loud noise, fuck 'em. Another example. I like driving like I want. I do as I please. I'm friends with people from the local police. I go over the speed limit a bit. I don't give a shit. I got one of those stickers that I support my local police. I drive like I want. I ain't getting no ticket, but you are.
Advertise all this stuff. You've got to make the people in charge of these bridges economically responsible for their degradation, otherwise it's not going to work. So what happens to these jobs, these employed Americans, after the program ends, if it ever ends? It doesn't concern him. I mean, it's not going to live forever. You know, US has to go to government, so much more. You know, US has to go to government,
and what's going to happen if we don't elect a Donald Trump or a Ted Cruz or a Rand Paul? Because it looks like all over the world, the left is going full totalitarian.
I believe that health care is a right, not a privilege.
Full totalitarian.
What we are going to do is provide jobs and education for our kids, not more jails and incarceration.
Full totalitarian.
We can no longer continue to have a corrupt campaign finance system.
Full totalitarian.
Man, you know, I'm having these dreams lately, and they're really starting to bother me. This world makes no sense. It can't make sense. Why should it make sense? Random things happening every time you do this. If you drop it this way, would it go that way? And would it go? It's amazingly complex mathematical algorithms that run the entire universe. It's fascinating, really, even though I haven't got a fucking clue what it's about.
Now, sometimes I get accused of being too pessimistic, so I just want to tell everybody that I'm not really pessimistic. It's just that I've lived a long time. And when you live a long time, you tend to see the trajectory of things. And that trajectory is headed right into the toilet. Down in Brazil, balls and arrows still burning up the Amazon and clear cutting for export because the economy depends on it. Sure, President Lula still rots in jail due to the railroading of anybody left of Attila the Hun.
But what does it say about a nation where 25% of the population believes that God ordained Herr Drumpf to run the USA? Maybe it was a punishment or something, you know, maybe it was from on high. It's like, oh, he got tired of floods and fires and shit and just gave that guy, here, these idiots will actually vote for him. So that's pathetic. 25% of Americans believe that God himself or herself, whichever your preference is, ordained him. He came down from Mount Sinai and said that gave him the wall order right on a set of tablets. Whatever happened to a compassionate society? Most people aren't horrible. At least the ones I know aren't. So why is it that the most horrible among us rise to the top? Somehow we've gotten away from any sense of responsibility to each other. And this happens as dog-eat-dog economics come into play. If you're struggling to survive, then it's hard to find time to be an activist, to do anything but run on that hamster wheel and try and keep your head above water. And it mutes the concerns of so many people. If you're too exhausted to fight back, then the forces of darkness will overcome the land, overcome the world, and we will be hopelessly lost. But as long as there's a spark of hope, as long as there's a spark of knowing that there are good people, the good people out there want to stop this, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Private prison corporations are terrified that their source of slave labor may be drying up with these crazy young kids and their socialism. Da, 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 da. Everybody's so afraid that they might have good medical care for everybody in the country. How are you going to pay for that? Where's the money going to come from? This from the most bloated military budget, huge tax cuts. Never ask where the money's coming from for that stuff, do they? No, there's always money for war. There's always money for billionaires. There's money just sloshing around at the top, and there might be a bill or two that comes down into the hog pit, which is what they consider us normal human beings. There's got to be some sort of compassion taught again in the world. People seem to have been so brainwashed by technology, it's so embedded within them that they're willing to accept anything. Things that 20, 30 years ago would have been unheard of, unthinkable, impossible, are becoming reality. Fascism is on the march, not only in America, but all around the world.
Down. This was a small missile. This was not a big missile. You will go down. This was a small missile. This was not a big missile. You will go down. You will go down.
We all find ourselves living in one of the most terrifying epochs in history. An era of viciousness and calamity such as humans have never experienced. Never before in history have we witnessed suffering and bloodshed and slavery on a scale that we see in the 21st century.
You think you understand shit. I gets what I want. Yeah. You guys have to understand it's survival of the fittest, and you just ain't fit. And that's why we win all the time, and we will always win, because you are too goddamn weak.
A third of the trees were burnt up, and a third of the creatures in the sea have died. Our institutions have all been hijacked. They have been sold along with your individual identity. Our technology has bred monsters.
I would like to have a section of this show called Guess the Mental Disability. And I think we're going to start off tonight with Jeff Sessions, and we're going to say, okay, which childhood trauma? We're going to go into looking into toilet training, early trauma, childhood trauma, to try and analyze what is wrong with Mr. sessions. Personally, I think it all revolves back around the toilet training period. And just look at the guy's face. I mean, you can just see he's like so bound up tight, and it's like, there, dear, his mother must have said, hey, go poo on the potty. It's mine. It's mine. Same thing Trump did. It's so obvious. Nobody takes me seriously. You should have just asked me about this. I have expertise in many things. In the happy joy department, here is rhino poacher killed by elephants and eaten by lions. Go, elephants and lions too. A rhinoceros poacher was stomped to death by an elephant and eaten by lions in the South Africa Wildlife Preserve, and rangers found just his skull and trousers, authorities said. The man and 2 others were hunting illegally at Kruger National Park last week when the elephant surprised them. The hunter's companions dragged his body to a spot near the road and told the man's family what happened. It took 2 days for rangers to find his remains. South Africans weighed in on social media, with many celebrating the poacher's death, calling it justice, or applauding the animals for restoring law and order in the jungle. But others blamed the economic desperation that leads people to become poachers in the international criminal syndicates they work for. Doesn't everybody work for an international syndicate? Isn't that what a corporation is? And the world keeps getting worse. There's variants upon other variants upon then the variants are hitting me everywhere. They're coming from every corner of the world. Variants. It's never going to end. This crazy, insane stuff is never going to end. And I got vaxxed. And I know that now Bill Gates can track me because he's got these little bots inside me. And you too, probably, because you probably got vaxxed. So, it's like, it's over for everybody. Oh, I shouldn't say that because YouTube, algorithmic bot cops, as Hambone calls them, they're everywhere, man. They just troll the internet constantly, looking for whose life they can destroy, whose channel they can wreck, which small YouTuber they can delete, because it's a corporation. And it's a corporate algorithm, and it's created in a laboratory, and nobody even knows what an algorithm does or is or anything. And if they do say they know, they're lying, because nobody really understands what an algorithm is. They just like to say algorithm because it makes them feel smart. In the weird religion department, an Ohio man is drinking only beer for Lent, and it's helping him lose weight. Del Hall first made headlines in February after announcing he would be drinking nothing but beer between Ash Wednesday and Easter. Well, with just a few weeks to go, Hall has lost more than 33 pounds. The weirdest thing is my dreams. I've been dreaming about food every night. It's because you haven't been eating. For 46 days, Hall says he will have an assortment of beer for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hall says he was following the lead of the monks in the 1600s, who would fast during the season by drinking only beer. Hey, okay, now I get it. What were those monks up to? So it was like the whole of Lent would be like a big drunken bacchanal? I don't know, it's kind of weird. Beer diet, oh God. It's not the end of the world, I guess. Anyway, so there's a guy that's drinking nothing but beer for Lent, giving up all food and only drinking beer. Yeah, I might be down with that. I don't know. I could probably enjoy that kind of a diet. So I wonder what somebody who was a lapsed Catholic would do. Like me, I was introduced to the Catholic religion when I was, before I knew how to speak. And the next thing I know, I was attending Our Lady of Perpetual Misery taught by nuns. But anyway, I'm thinking, we used to have to do this thing called confession, and for you Catholics, you go into the little confessional booth. I don't know why it has to be a booth. I guess it's like, you can't talk to God without I think they have the telephone to God right from the wire goes right from the booth. So I was thinking, well, you know, I last went to confession, I think when I was like 9 years old or 10 years old, and after that I decided that, nah, it wasn't for me. So I thought, well, what if all of a sudden I had an epiphany and decided I wanted to be a Catholic again? And I thought, well, you know, you'd have to go to the little booth and you'd have to bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 50 some years, I don't know, more years than I can remember. And I got a list here. You just start pulling it out, and then, you know, when I was 11 years old, I stole a candy bar, and then the next day I hit my sister and pulled her hair, and when I was 12, I confessed that I had lustful thoughts for Ginger and Marianne on Gilligan's Island, and you know, Morticia on from the Addams Family. Oh God, she was hot. Anyway, and you just keep going. You just keep pulling these things out, right? You'd have to have a pretty thick briefcase, you know. And I wonder how long it would take a lapsed Catholic like me to list all the sins I have done in the last, I don't know, and it just keeps going day after day after day after day, right? And you'd think that the priest would be going like, can we move this along a little bit? Can, you know, I give you a, you know, finally at the end he just goes like, okay, shut up. I'll give you a blanket pardon for everything. Go and say 45 Hail Marys and you know, walk on your knees for 50 yards, and you're forgiven for everything. And oh yeah, don't miss church, and don't forget when they pass the collection plate, remember all your sins, my son. So yeah, I just thought I'd say that. So I hope you've enjoyed this 10th anniversary, Veg's 10th anniversary, almost. Well, you know the thing is that it's almost nearly spectacular, or nearly almost spectacular. Veg's 10th anniversary, nearly almost spectacular. And Volume 3, this brings to a conclusion this series of videos. And it's been a joy looking back over the years, and both a joy and an embarrassment. But isn't life like that? We have our joys and we have our embarrassments and everything. So I'd like to say thank you for making it through, and if you've made it all through all three of these, you are entitled to exclusive Vegematic Club membership benefits. As soon as I think up what they will be, I will let you know. I think we should start giving awards to, I think I should start giving awards to my audience, like the most comments over the years, or the most times they made me laugh, etc., etc. Oh yes, I'd like to thank the character of, I don't know, the strange guy that is actually Brian Weinstein from the Divided We Stand channel. And if you want to chat with me, and, well, by the way, you know, we have a nice little chat thing going on there Saturday night, and it's at 9 o'clock or thereabouts. And, you know, it's a good time to open the beverage of your choice, sit and meet with some friends, and discuss the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and basically a happy bunch of guys and gals that are hanging out there. And so come on by and check out the Divided We Stand. And I would also like to mention Cindy Matthews over at The Revolution Continues, and it still does. So, you know, Cindy has worked very, very hard on this blog spot for many years with no rewards, basically. So I feel a kinship with her. Is, you know, the Vegematic channel has not brought me any material or spiritual benefit to my life, and but I keep doing it, and for some reason I'm trying to get Friday night, every Friday night. And it was really hard today because I was down visiting the reservation today, and I had to make it back. And what time is it now? Let's see. It's 4:37. Now I gotta I've pretty much edited all this, and it's all done, and I've got like 4:35. I got it. It's going to take an hour to render, and then it's going to take an hour and a half to render, and then I might not make it by 7. So if I'm after 7, I'm just fashionably late. So be well, everybody. Be nice to people, even the idiots, because maybe by being nice to people, there'll be less idiots in the world. Next week, I will have a brand new show, no old clips or anything, all made from scratch, right down here where the sausage is made, in the bowels of the earth, in London, Ontario, Canada, the armpit of Canada, and I will endeavor to continue to bring you the Vegematic show, despite having no rewards for it. And you know, sometimes the thing is the reward in itself, right? At least that's what I keep telling myself about everything in my life. Art, music, everything. It's like, no, you can't make money at that. You can't make money at that. You have to be a drone. Well, I managed to not be a drone in the industrial hive for a lot of years, so I'm more fortunate than most people. And rather than run my mouth off any further, I'm going to end this right here and get busy, and hopefully I can get this out before, I don't know, I'm going to try for 7, because I'm going for consistency in my life. I've never been consistent. I've always been here and there and up and down and all that stuff. So Vegematic is something you can count on every Friday night. I'll be here. I promise. Unless shit happens and I can't. But it's worth checking out. Anyway, bye. Okay.
And I figured because I own my own business, I take a few liberties. For example, if I get paid in cash, you think I'm gonna declare that shit? I'm keeping it for myself. No harm, no foul. And when I invest in stocks, I'm getting a tax rate half of what your income tax is, and I don't have to do jack shit. I just get my money. You.
I hope you're enjoying this third Vege's nearly almost spectacular 10th anniversary show, because it has been crafted lovingly with you, the viewer, in mind.